How you guys doing? Will here and welcome back to Boosted Media. So today's video I wanted to do an update on where we're kind of at as a channel, where we've been going, how we've been growing over the last 6 to 12 months, as well as what we're doing moving forward over the next 6 to 12 months as well. So a lot of things have changed over the last, well, in the last 2 years really. The guys that have been around since the very start would know that this started out as an automotive channel. We kind of transitioned around a year and a half ago now into doing more tech stuff. And in fact, it's actually been over a year now since we've done an automotive video at all. And then in the last 6 months or so, we've started to do a lot of sim racing stuff. We've been building our sim rig, which you can see on my right-hand side here, and really been getting stuck into that in a lot more detail than I actually originally expected when I started this channel. Now, there's some really good reasons for that. So I wanted to explain a bit of the reasons why we've been doing so many sim racing videos lately, as well as sort of touching on where we're going with tech stuff, where we're going with automotive stuff as well, because there are a couple of things in the pipeline there as well. And I guess just really open up to you guys and be completely transparent about exactly what's been going on and what you can expect over the next 6 to 12 months. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around. Otherwise, you're welcome to click off. And of course, you can also minimize this video. It's basically just going to be a talking head video, at least for the first half anyway. And then I'm going to show you a couple of things in a bit more detail later on. So feel free to click off this. Just listen to what I'm saying in the background as you're doing other things. So anyway, let's get stuck into it. So basically, over the last 12 months, obviously we've been doing a lot more tech and a lot more sim racing stuff. So around probably 8 months ago, I released a couple of overclocking videos that really took off, really exploded, I guess. I wouldn't say they went viral, but they really kind of established this channel, I guess, as one of the main players in terms of, you know, overclocking guides and things like that. And that's something that I probably wasn't really expecting would happen. And it put me in a bit of a, it sounds funny, but it put me in a bit of an awkward position, because suddenly I had all of these new subscribers coming in that wanted to see more and more and more content, you know, that are used to following channels like Jay's 2 Cents or Linus Tech Tips or, you know, Actually Hardcore Overclocking and stuff like that. And those guys are obviously dedicated full time to doing these sort of tech videos, especially Jay's 2 Cents. I mean, all he does is, you know, PC hardware, PC builds, overclocking, reviews and things like that. So that was kind of the expectation that was generated by the videos that I was creating at the time. And unfortunately, in the tech space, it's really, really hard to stay on the cutting edge with hardware and things like that, because, you know, for a relatively small channel like this, we don't get sent hardware for free by the manufacturers. You know, I don't have a relationship with ASUS and Gigabyte and, you know, Intel and AMD, all those companies. You know, they don't send me anything for free. I have to buy everything that I review in the videos. I have to buy it with, you know, at retail. So I'm not, you know, I'm not getting kickbacks or anything like that from those products or those brands. So what that means is that I have to continually purchase hardware for the purpose of making those videos, which of course for a relatively small channel is quite difficult. And I don't want to turn this into a whinging fest or, you know, I guess a video asking for support or anything like that, because that's not what this is about at all. All I'm trying to do here is just be completely transparent about exactly the reasons why you've been seeing the kind of videos that you have. So I did a couple of these build videos when I was building the PC that you see on my right-hand side here. Now, I needed this PC for work. I needed it to, I guess, do the things that I was going to be doing with sim racing, but primarily it was going to be a work machine. And of course, I went a little bit overboard with it because I wanted to produce some cool videos for you guys, and I wanted to do another build for my own personal reasons. Anyway, I love doing this stuff. It's something that I've always enjoyed. It's always been a hobby of mine, so I thought, what the heck, let's do it. But, you know, it was never intended to be a transition into becoming a build channel where I'm building a new PC every month and, you know, covering it all in detail. But that's kind of the expectation that became generated through the content. So people were saying, when's the next build coming? When's the next overclocking video coming? And it's like, well, guys, I don't have any more hardware to review at the moment. And I toyed around early on with the idea of, you know, just purchasing more and more hardware, doing these builds. And then I thought, well, what am I going to do with the machines once I've built them? Plus, you know, if I want to continue to grow this channel into being something that is, I guess, financially successful, then, you know, and something that I can do full time to, you know, to support my family and, you know, be able to do it and not have to do another job at the same time, then obviously it needs to be financially stable as well. So the channel over the last 6 months really has reached the point where it is financially stable in terms of the amount of income that's generated by the channel through the affiliate links, which I'll touch on in a little bit more detail soon, as well as obviously the money that I get from Google for putting ads on the videos. it is at the point where it supplies enough income that I can purchase equipment. So I've been using it to buy, you know, better lighting, better camera gear, better microphones, as well as all the sim racing gear and those kinds of things as well. And I'm very, very proud to say, and very happy to say to you guys that, you know, all that stuff has been completely supported by the support that I've had from you guys financially with the channel, with using the affiliate links, watching the videos and so forth. So it is a self-sustaining hobby now, which is awesome. But obviously it's not quite at the point yet where it justifies me going out and spending $10,000, because PC gear is really expensive here. This machine cost me $10,000 to build. It's, you know, and that sounds ridiculous to the guys overseas, I know, but that's the reality of living in Australia. That's what this kind of gear costs here. So obviously I need to be able to justify purchasing that kind of gear, and the amount of money that I'm earning through doing overclocking videos and stuff like that isn't enough to continually buy more and more and more equipment and also spend less time doing my day job and more time producing videos for you guys, because obviously the more time I spend not working, the more time I spend on videos, the less money I'm earning, the less I can support my family, and then I need to offset that against, you know, the adult responsibilities of life. So really where we're at is I can't afford to just buy motherboards, CPUs, and do all these overclocking videos for every single chip out there, as much as I would love to be able to do that. If this was a full-time job, then that's absolutely what I'd be doing, as well as the sim racing stuff as well. But right now, that's just not the reality. But as the channel grows, hopefully we will be able to do more and more stuff like that. And also opportunities do arise where, you know, I did a couple of 9900K overclocking videos recently, and that was because a friend of mine needed a system built, and I said, well, hey, how about you let me build it for you, and in exchange for that, rather than paying me, you let me keep it for a week and I'll do a bunch of videos, and, you know, everybody wins. So we've been doing a couple of things like that as well, which have worked really well for the channel. But obviously those kinds of opportunities are relatively limited. So what I started doing was, when I decided that I was going to start doing more sim racing stuff and really getting involved in that, I thought, well, there's an opportunity here, because Fanatec, which is the brand of, you know, steering wheel, shifters, pedals, and all that stuff that I've been using, have a really good affiliate program. So basically what that means is that when you guys purchase the Fanatec gear that I'm using in the videos through the links that are in the description, which obviously are affiliate links, and that's explained in the videos as well, what happens is I get a small kickback from all of those purchases. So usually it's around about the 5% mark. So if you buy a $1,000 steering wheel, I'm making about $50 out of that purchase. Now, what has been absolutely fantastic is that that has really taken off. That has been doing way better than I ever expected. It's, I'll be completely honest with you guys. At the moment, it's at the rate that it's been averaged over the last month, it's been earning me probably about $100 to $200 a day, which has been enough for me to be able to justify buying more gear, making more videos. And that's why I've kind of been focusing more heavily on the sim racing stuff lately, is because it's really helping the channel financially, which is opening up opportunities for me to, you know, do less time, spend less time on my day job, more time producing videos. And you will have noticed over the last couple of months, I have been putting out at least a video a week, and that's the reason why I've been doing that. Now, the goal is obviously to do at least 2 or 3 videos a week, and eventually maybe even a video a day, once this becomes a full-time job. And I do actually see this becoming a full-time job at some point in the not too distant future, hopefully. But, you know, we're still away from that yet. I'd say probably at least another year or 2. But if the channel keeps growing the way it has been, then that's definitely a reality, which is something that I never ever imagined would have happened when I first started the channel. But that is probably, I guess, the main reason why I've been doing more sim racing videos lately, is because, to be completely honest with you guys, that has been a more financially successful and a more revenue generating stream for me in doing this channel. But obviously I need to balance that out with the kind of content that you guys want to see as well. So the next thing I want to do is talk a little bit about how people are actually finding these videos, and how, I guess, all of that side of things works as well, because that's a really important factor to understand when I'm actually producing videos and creating content for you guys as well. So the majority of large YouTube channels out there, and I'm talking sort of channels that have 100,000 subscribers plus, most of them you'll find that when they release a new video, they get lots and lots of views on that video straight away. So when Jay's 2 Cents, for example, or Linus put out a new video, it'll have, you know, 500,000 to 1 million views within a couple of days. Now, if you look at my videos, you'll notice that the initial viewership of the videos, or the initial amount of viewers that you get when I put out a video, is nowhere near that amount. In fact, it's actually quite low. And I think part of the reason for that is because I've never been particularly good at building a community around the videos that I'm producing. Now, part of that is because I've changed niches too many times. You know, I've gone from automotive to tech and then into sim racing. And I guess people that have subscribed for a specific reason are kind of left wondering, you know, what the hell is this guy doing? Why is he doing this? And then he's jumping over here and doing that. And, you know, I might not be interested at all in sim racing, but I might be interested in overclocking, or then suddenly there's a car video and it's like, what the hell is this guy doing? So it can get quite confusing. And I think that that's probably been something that has affected the number of subs that I've had, but it's definitely something that affects, I guess, that community around, oh, Boosted Media's put out a new video, let's all watch it straight away. And one of the things that I've been trying to focus on over the last couple of months is, you know, building a Discord community, having a stronger presence on social media, things like Reddit and stuff like that as well, to actually, you know, start to build a bit of an organic following. Because historically, looking back at my data, basically what happens is most of the people that are watching my videos are finding it because they're looking for a specific answer to a problem. So somebody wants to know how to overclock their 9900K, they jump on Google, they type in 9900K overclocking, chances are they'll find my video, but they might not be interested in any other videos that I've put out. So they might not subscribe, but they're still watching the video. So when you actually look at the data, only about 7% of my views come from subscribers. All the rest of them are coming from people that have just found me through, you know, either organically on social media or through a share that somebody else has done. I don't really do any paid advertising at all anymore. I tried that out a couple of years ago and found that it really doesn't work for a small channel like me. You know, simply because it costs too much, and, you know, I don't want to spend all of the money that I get from the channel on advertising. It just doesn't make any sense. But as the channel grows, that is another thing that we'll hopefully be able to do a little bit more of as well to help grow the audience. But I'm very much of the belief that organic growth is much more beneficial for the channel than, you know, paid advertising and things like that. So that's kind of the direction that we've gone with that. But one of the things that I really do want to do is start to build more of a community. And I think that even though we do touch on a couple of different niches with this channel, there is that kind of underpinning theme of, you know, modifying things, geeking out on equipment and stuff like that, and making things do things that they weren't necessarily originally intended to do, which is, I guess, what my key passion is. I love tearing things apart, understanding how they work, communicating that to you guys, and then, you know, showing you how they can be improved or modified or enhanced, I guess, in a sense. So that's kind of where the whole idea for Boosted Media came from. Boost kind of being, you know, an automotive term in terms of, you know, turbocharging, supercharging, things like that, but also boosting in terms of, you know, just enhancing things. So that's kind of where I got the idea for that name from. So yeah, I really do want to try and focus on building much more of a stronger community around the subscribers that I have, and really starting to build that up so that when I release a new video, lots of people jump on it, lots of people share it straight away, because that really helps channels grow. Obviously, YouTube's algorithm very much favors people that are putting out content really regularly, and that is definitely a struggle for me at the moment. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But yeah, having lots of people watch your video straight away is really important to Google's algorithms, because it tells them that it's high quality content, it's content that people want to watch. And then what happens is Google will then actually show that content to more people. And that's where most of the views come from. 60 to 70% of the views that I get on this channel do come from YouTube's recommended viewing. So that is something that I definitely need to focus more on in generating more of a following around the channel. So what can you actually expect over the next 6 to 12 months? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing down the path of doing a lot of sim racing stuff, because I'm really enjoying doing that. I'm finding that it's a good community of people, and it's something that most of my sort of tech followers as well as my automotive followers are interested in. So we're definitely going to continue doing that. So obviously having that generated income from the Fanatec affiliate links really helps out as well. But you know, obviously I've kind of reached the point now where I've got most of the gear that I need. There are a couple of things that we're definitely going to be doing. We're definitely going to be ramping things up there. But you know, I'm sort of at the point now where it's like, do I go direct drive? Do I, you know, really invest in this, or do I sort of stick with what I've got at the moment, do some more sort of driving videos and things like that, doing sort of more like a Jimmy Broadbent kind of style of channel, or do I sort of keep it more focused on that? So let me know in the comments as well what you guys would like to see in that regard. But I do want to sort of start to try and mix things up a little bit there, start to include some of my, you know, league races and things like that as well on the channel. I don't want to, you know, bombard you guys with gaming content or anything like that, but I do want to start to include a little bit more of that on the channel, because I think that that's something that people are genuinely interested in. And, you know, it's good to see the, you know, the backside of things where we're building gear and we're, you know, showing how things work, showing how to configure things. But, you know, tying that all in with actually using the equipment and showing you how I've improved over time with my driving and things like that is really important as well. And I think that, you know, a lot of the comments that I get on my videos, even if it's just a video about, you know, a steering wheel or something like that, the majority of the comments usually end up being, you know, oh, your field of view is wrong, or your driving sucks, or why are you using the racing line? So people are obviously interested in what's actually going on in the video in terms of my driving and stuff like that, as well as, you know, the topic of the video. And I always kind of wonder, you know, why are you commenting about my driving when that's got nothing to do with the subject matter of the video? But obviously people are interested in that. So there's going to be a lot more sim racing content. So what else can you expect over the next 6 months? So I've just received from BenQ some awesome 35-inch ultra-wide curved panels, which we're going to be using to upgrade our simulator rig. So that's really exciting. I'm going to be putting out a video in the next couple of weeks with, you know, 6 or 7 things that I wish I'd known before I started sim racing. And one of those topics is going to be, I wish I'd had a triple screen setup rather than a large single screen setup. So BenQ have really kindly come on board and supplied some panels for that. So we're going to be doing the upgrade to the rig with that, the triple screens, showing how to set all that up and things like that. We're also very seriously looking at moving across to direct drive as well. I'm sort of trying to justify that in my own mind at the moment as well. So on the sim racing front, we're definitely going to be getting stuck into that. I'm really looking forward to doing this triple screen setup. We're going to be doing, you know, we're going to be showing you how we built the mounts for it. We're going to be showing you how we create a nice little sort of hood over the top as well to make it more immersive. We're probably going to be doing some VR content as well, I think. I've kind of been holding off on doing that for a very long time now because I felt like VR is kind of not really there in terms of immersion and reality just yet. I feel like eyeball tracking kind of needs to be a thing within the VR space before I kind of want to jump in and test that. But, you know, what the heck, we'll probably end up buying one anyway. Just test it out, see what it's like, see whether it's something that you should invest in or not, and whether it's better than a triple screen or a single screen setup. So that's something that you can look forward to hopefully over the next 6 months as well. In terms of tech, we're definitely going to be needing to do some upgrades to the PC on my left-hand side over the next few months. I'm sort of questioning whether the 1080 Ti that's currently in the machine is going to be enough to run this triple monitor setup. So we're going to test that out first, and then we're probably going to end up having to buy a 2080 Ti, I think. So we're putting the water block on that, integrating into the system. I may even end up needing to buy a second system and building up another machine to run the simulator rig, simply because a triple screen setup is not going to fit in this office, and I do need this machine for my day-to-day office job, and I'm probably going to end up needing to build another machine just to run the simulator rig. So that's something that may end up happening, may not. Don't know exactly what's going to happen there yet, but there's definitely going to be some videos around that regardless. Now, I touched on this just before when I said that it's been really hard for me to put out regular content. Now, the reason for that is that obviously I'm just shooting inside my house. I don't have a studio or anything like that at the moment. You know, and if you turn the camera around and actually look at the space that I'm working in here, it's basically just the corner of my living room. So I've got everything set up, and it's kind of like a little studio in this little corner here. But as soon as you go outside that space, it's an absolute mess. You know, it's the middle of my living room. I've got children running around, and I actually have to send my wife out whenever I'm recording a video, because we've got 2 young kids. They're running around, they're making noise, and it's just impossible to get anything done in terms of shooting video when I'm inside the house with the kids running around. So I've been toying with the idea of potentially, you know, renting an external space or something like that. But then obviously my overheads go up. It becomes less financially viable for me to focus on just doing the YouTube content, because then I have to pay for rent and stuff like that as well. So I want to try and keep the cost down as much as possible. So what I've been looking at doing is converting my garage into a bit of a studio. Now, it's still attached to the house, but it provides enough separation that the noise isn't such an issue, and it gives me a lot more space to set things up. We'll be able to set up a proper studio corner with, you know, a proper table for when we're doing unboxings and reviews and stuff like that. You won't be seeing me sitting in my living room anymore doing unboxings, hopefully. So what I want to do now is actually take you into the garage, show you the space as it sits right now, and then talk a little bit more about that as well. So if you've minimized this video and you've just been listening in the background, now is the time to maximize it again, because we're going to jump off camera now and go and have a look at the garage space, and I'll show you how all that's going to be set up. So this is a bit of a behind the scenes look here. So I started tidying up my workspace, and then I realized, you know what, there's not really much point in doing that, because I want to show you the reality of what I'm actually kind of working with here. And I showed you in my, I guess in my office or rig overview a couple of weeks ago, kind of what that looked in that corner there. So I don't need to go through all that again. But basically the way we were filming just then is basically we just got a light box here. We've got a microphone, which is a really nice microphone. It's a Rode Broadcaster, which is a really expensive mic. But I've just got it sitting on a little stand here on top of a chair to record. And then I've got my Sony A7 Mark II there as well, which is what I was using to film with. And then you've got the disaster zone, which is the area behind me, which you normally can only see a small portion of in the videos. Obviously, my wife is running a business from the house as well, so there's her office space over there as well. That's a bit of a disaster at the moment. But that's kind of my office space there. We'll move across into the garage now. Actually, I'll quickly show you in the living room over here as well is where I normally record my unboxings and stuff like that. You can see the kids' pram there in the corner. So when I've been doing my unboxings and reviews and stuff, I've kind of been moving things out of this space and then kind of using that space to record those videos. But we'll move across now into the garage quickly. There's the spare room there, which is an absolute disaster. Kitchen is a mess, excuse that. The oven that I used to record my headlight opening video. So moving across into the garage now. So you can see there the 35-inch EX35001R BenQ monitors, which I've unboxed one of them already. You would have seen it on my desk, and I've been using that for the last week to get a feel for it. We've obviously got to mount that onto the Next Level Racing triple monitor stand. There's my other light box there as well. And if you haven't seen it before, that's my Formula One cockpit, which I haven't gotten rid of. I've kind of been just sort of figuring out what I want to do with it. Obviously, I would love to use it. It doesn't really work in the space that I'm using at the moment. If you want to see any more detail on that, check out the video that I did on that about probably 6 months ago now when I first got it. But hopefully at some point we will end up using it for the rig. So the idea for this space is to paint the back wall here completely white, fill all the little holes, get rid of all the various fixtures and stuff that are on the wall that are kind of, you know, completely redundant. We'll probably end up actually painting all of this area as well. That's the monitor that I normally use there, my wife's snowboard, and so forth, just a bunch of junk in there. It's an absolute disaster zone at the moment. You would have seen when I do my overclocking videos and my you know, delidding videos and stuff like that, that's usually the space that I'm in over there, and we clear it out to shoot the video. But so we'll paint all of that wall and everything all white, I would imagine, and then we'll probably end up knocking down this wall here, which is just a kind of just a dodgy wall. It's not really necessary in any sense. The previous owner of the house put that in there. So I'll probably knock that down, and what I'm thinking is actually having a curtain rail along the top here, so that we can draw a big, heavy white curtain across, and that'll give us a nice backdrop for videos, but it should also help acoustically as well, because you're probably hearing there's a lot of echo in here at the moment, and that's going to be a lot worse when it's not filled with clutter. So we'll probably put some rubber tiles down on the floor as well, and then obviously get rid of all this junk here as well. And I was also thinking of probably have another curtain that runs across in front of the garage doors as well, because there's a lot of heat that comes through that garage door in the afternoon when the sun hits it. So that's basically the plan for this space. I'm probably not going to put up any walls or anything like that, because I don't want to make it so that it can never be used as a garage again. I think that detracts from the value of the house. So I still want to be able to use it as a garage. I just want to be able to move everything out, but I also want it to be an inhabitable space as well. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to do with the floor and stuff like that. There's a few rules in Australia around what you need to do with the floor in terms of moisture and stuff like that. Have had a few issues with flooding here in the past, with water coming in through the garage door and stuff like that. So that's going to need to be sorted as well. So when we do all this, hopefully we'll be able to turn it into a bit of a project for the channel as well. You guys will be able to follow along as we do it. But the other thing I wanted to show you quickly as well, as we spin around, is the new car that we've purchased. So you probably would have picked up by now that I've sold the BMW. I sold the BMW simply because basically I was never driving it. It was just sitting in the garage, and it was a very, very expensive car to have just sitting in a garage. It was, you know, kind of pointless, to be honest. I'd kind of done everything that I wanted to do to it in terms of modification, and while I did love having it, I loved driving it, it was silly to have such an expensive car sitting in the garage all the time. Plus it meant that, you know, I couldn't use this space for anything else while I still had that car. So I've sold that car now, and what I've purchased is something that you probably wouldn't be expecting at all. So a lot of you guys overseas would have absolutely no idea what this is. This is a SS Commodore. So it's a 2013 model. And this is a car that's manufactured, or was manufactured in Australia. They don't make them anymore. And it's a 2013 model, so it's a little bit older now, but it is still in very, very good condition. And more excitingly, it is a V8. So it's a nice big engine that gives you lots of potential to do lots of things. Now, I don't have big plans to modify the engine or anything like that, but I'll quickly give you a look under the hood. So we'll jump down here, pull the little handle, and you guys will be familiar with that sight if you're from America. So this is a LS engine, V8. I won't go into all the details on it now because it's not really the point of this video, but there's a lot of potential there in the future for modification if we choose to go down that path. But really, this is just a daily driver for me. Well, not really daily because I don't drive it very often, but it's got plenty of space for the kids and everything. You can see it's got the baby seats in the back there and everything. But one of the things that we are going to be doing, which I'm really excited about, is this head unit system, which comes in the car from standard, is absolutely horrendous. It's very, very, very 2009 kind of spec, even though it's a 2013 car, and it's absolutely horrible. So historically, for the last 7 years since this car was released, there's been no options in terms of replacing the head unit because it's so integrated with the AC controls and all that sort of thing. So out of pure dumb luck, in the last couple of weeks, a company in Australia has come out with a new replacement head unit system after 7 years of people with these cars waiting. A beautiful, I think it's a 10-inch screen. It looks very much like a Tesla kind of idea. It's an Android-based system, and I've got one of those on the way. We're going to be doing an installation video and review for that as well. So that's going to be something that's really exciting, hopefully to do some more automotive content again as well. But there's plenty of potential in this car. The factory audio system's absolutely horrendous, so we'll definitely be doing some upgrades there. So that is my new secondhand car. Okay guys, so hopefully that is giving you a clearer understanding of what you can expect from the channel over the next 6 to 12 months. So if you do have any ideas, or if there's anything specific that you'd like to talk more about or that you'd like to see from the channel, do let me know in the comments below. I'm always very big on including you guys in the process. You know, I really want you guys to be getting the content that you want, as well as the stuff that I want to make as well, because that's what it's all about. I want this to be a community. I want this to be a group of like-minded people that all share our passion for technology, cars, making things go fast, and that kind of stuff. So thank you guys very much for watching the video. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you have, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. I know that most of you guys watching this are probably already subscribed, so thank you very much for that. But guys, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you again soon. Bye.